Second part, we will do some exercise where we can come up with some relevant problems in your unique setting. So, ready to go? Thank you. Some honorable mentions. So, starting from last year, Facebook research supported grants around mechanism design, and the idea was, how do you use this field to solve some problems, in these particular fields: unemployment, disease, wellness. Again, this is a tutorial, so don't feel like it's a talk, because this is new. Make sure that we have this interactive, so ask whenever you can. So this is an honorable mention. I am privileged and honored to have been one of the recipients of this grant. The first for the continent, for Africa, looking at mechanism design and applied sort of game theory in scenarios like these. We have some classic problems in the world of mechanism design. And this is, if you have resources, how do you allocate resources? To whom and in what way? And so the idea of mechanism design is really enforced in this discipline of, with resources, how do you allocate them? Who receives what? And how much does each one get? This is a classic example. If we were giving out these books, anybody here, I could pick your mind. How would you like me to give out these books? I have 10 books. How would you suggest? Some quick suggestions. We'll have maybe 1 minute just to run through. Let me have some quick suggestions. How do you suggest that we should give out this book? Because we are definitely more than 10.
Can randomly select people?
Randomly select people, yeah. So that's a part of, picking the people. How do we give out the books?
Good question.
Just give them what people participate more. Like
people who participate more?
Yes.
Okay. Quick ideas, this slide. If I have 10 books, how would you suggest?
So if you randomly select the people, then they can select the books they want.
They can select the books they want. Very good idea. Some quick ideas. Yeah.
Basically, if somebody is interested in this book,
Very interesting. How do I give 10 books to people that are more than 10?
Are the books paperback or electronic?
Paperback.
Tear out the pages and then everyone gets
Very good. The suggestion is tear out pages and everybody gets it. Okay, let's dive in. I propose, an initial proposal is suggested already. We randomly select attendees and assign them a number from 1 to, say, however a number. How many are we here? Maybe about 50. We randomly assign a number to each participant, and then we randomly give a book amongst those that are remaining. That means that we would have the books in a bag blindly, and we would randomly give the assigned random number to each one. Does this make sense to you? Does this sound fair? Because we have randomly given everybody a number, and we are randomly assigning them a book from a bag, which is blind. Does this seem fair? I have 10 books. It's a limited resource. Let me have your suggestions. Does this seem fair? What do you think? Yeah, just quick notes, guys. This is a tutorial, as interactive. Yep.
maybe people might be interested in a different book and I receive another book. So
great. That's a concern. That's a concern. That's a very valid concern. But does it seem fair the way I've done it?
Yeah, because each person has a
Exactly. Exactly. But these complaints are the foundation part. Complaints of I didn't get what I wanted, or I don't like what I really get. These are the fundamental questions that we ask in mechanism design. And so you can envision some complaints about this, and some of the complaints given, I don't get what I want. So the question is, that we are asking in mechanism design every time is, can we do better? We had a random assignment of numbers to people who we randomly picked people who had numbers 1 to 10. Okay? No order. We randomly picked the people who had numbers 1 to 10 and still randomly assigned a book to each one of them. Okay? And so that would be a very interesting point. Can we do better than randomly selecting? Can we do better than randomly assigning the chosen book? And so some of the complaints that are typical in this particular random assignment are, it doesn't consider what I want. And then for people, it's a very key, interesting suggestion that you made, that a person may prefer another book. The people that have books that each one of them was not their favorite can get into conversation on how to exchange books. And so you want to do this systematically within some sort of design. And so this is the essence of this. Again, notwithstanding that there are some benefits to doing random assignment and random selection, is that many of these, if you wrote an algorithm like that, it would be computationally efficient, quick and easy. And so I make a different suggestion. How about you choose your favorite? We keep the first, because we have a limited resource of 10 books, we keep the first assignment of random order of attendees. So we don't choose who's, who has the number 1 to 10, but we have assigned 1 to 200, and whoever gets 1 to 10 will be getting the books, maybe. And then each one of the attendees, before we assign the books, makes a choice of which book is their favorite. Questions? Does this sound like something you would prefer to random assignment? Yeah. I'm asking you.
Yes, I think if each attendee probably ranked the top 3, and then the randomly allocated attendees who were then given books are more likely to get one of the 3 that they liked, because the likelihood is not everyone's going to want exactly the same 3.
Yeah.
So it's probably a little bit more fair.
Exactly. And so she says that if you have a list and pick your top 3 before you're assigned, if you are assigned or if you get picked in the draw of one of the first 10, then you have the chance of getting one of the 3 books that you like. Does this sound better than randomly assigning a book to you? I need to have some context. This is a tutorial. Does this sound better? Would you prefer it?
I believe that some books will be left without owners. It's probably in the 10 people, maybe 3 books may be preferred by the rest, and another top 3, and the rest will be preferred.
I hear your concept, but again, this is random assignment. So we are, picking you randomly. So whoever has the numbers that will be getting the books, gets to get better the books. Maybe we'll just keep discussing this. So, because this is the fundamental idea of mechanism design. Can we do better? First, I picked you randomly, then I assigned the book randomly. Now I am suggesting that we pick randomly, but you make a choice of your favorite book before it's assigned. Again, the discussion would be around, can we do this any better? So as we wait for the connectivity to come back, there is a way that we can allocate books let's wait for that to come on so that we can follow together.
But you might get a book that will be useful to you when you are choosing randomly.
Great. And now these are the typical concerns that she says that you might get a book that is not useful to you, and yet you've been assigned to it. These are the typical
But you would have chosen them.
that you'd have chosen. Random allocation.
I'll talk about the
True,
second one.
true. And exactly, these are the concerns that we deal with.
Did you switch it on? Yes, on this place. This day, yeah. This is it.
Okay, now that we have a fair discussion of understanding these two mechanisms, at any one point the question is for which scenario to use each, either one. But clearly, there are advantages to you choosing your own book, even if you're randomly selected. Is that correct? Does anybody see why it is better for you to choose your favorite book even before you are assigned? Is it obvious? So the question is, how can we do? How can we choose? How can we allow the person make their favorite choice, even when we're not doing it on one-to-one? And so this would be by proxy. I suggest a mechanism that wherever you go, and if you have a set of books which represent a resource, you can distribute the resource by this particular mechanism of choose your favorite. And so we would follow a syntax of steps like these. The first would be have a participant submit the preference of books. And you can see this in any other resource. Here we're using books as an example. The second step would be randomly order the attendees within a number, maybe 1 to 200 here, depending on your size of your attendees. And in the order of the attendees, that means for the people that were randomly ordered, say from 1 to 10, looking that we have 10 books, you give each attendee their favorite books, their favorite book amongst the lot of what is remaining, according to their preference. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Does this make sense? Yeah, go ahead and ask.
What's the benefits in switching from one to two?
We are going to be discussing. So his question is, what is the benefit in switching 1 and 2? And this is what we're going to sort of be analyzing, the fundamental of what does it mean to switch up some of these steps. And so we'll be analyzing and going through some of that. Yep, question?
Suppose you have more than one person having the same preference.
Supposing you have more than one person having the same preference, we randomly ordered you, and so you cannot have the same order.
No, I mean in your preference book.
Again, the question is, suppose you have more than one person having the same preference, even and so, the third step of this mechanism is each attendee of the randomly chosen, for those that I have 10 books to give out, and so I'll order you 1 to 200, and so the people who, in that order, if you're 50 here, I'll order you from 1 to 50. Because it's random, the people who are 1, 2, 3, up to 10, okay, will have an opportunity to pick, because it's random. The idea is that we give each one of those that has been picked out of the random order of attendees, we give them their favorite book according to their list, but based on what is available. So if the first 4 people have picked, if those books they have picked were on your first 4 list and you're the 5th, you get your 5th favorite book. Does this make sense? There's a question right here.
What if we just cluster them based on their preference?
What if we just
cluster the individuals based on their preference?
cluster individuals based on their preference?
Yeah.
This
After the clustering, we may apply the random selection.
Indeed. Now, however, the way this is very brilliant, like asking, what if we cluster people? Then people, will say, is it fair that I was only clustered here while it wasn't like clustered there? And these are the questions that mechanism design is tackling. Because the rules, these particular rules, definitely matter. So this is what sort of look into it. So let me go as I go forth, maybe it will start making a bit more sense. Again, just to repeat, people submit the preference of books. We randomly order you, and based on who has been lucky to be on the first 10, we give you your favorite book on your list, if it is still available. Does that make some sense? And so this kind of mechanism is what is known as serial dictatorship. The idea is that you dictate what you get when your chance comes. So this is known as serial dictatorship as a mechanism of assigning things by proxy. And you can see the idea of using books as any other resource where you have a limited resource and many participants. How do we know, which is back to the concerns that you are asking, how do we know that our mechanism is good? How do we evaluate a mechanism? Okay, because some of the questions you're asking become pertinent. How do we know that serial dictatorship, which was the second one, is better than the first one, the random assignment? And so to be good for a mechanism, we have two fundamental ideas. One is known as Pareto optimal. Again, I'm introducing you from an angle that is looking at resources and how to design systems that include resources. Here, an outcome is Pareto optimal if you can't make someone better off without making someone worse off. Some of the suggestions that you make, we'll go into discussion and see. If you cluster people together, do they lose an opportunity to, maybe randomly be selected for another group? If you change the rules, does it affect somebody else? And so these are the questions that we strive to know. Can we do better during our mechanism? And so the characteristics of an outcome of a mechanism being Pareto optimal is that there is no other alternative for which everybody is at least happy. If you have been randomly selected and somebody gets the chance, it means there was no direct selection, so it was unbiased, right? So that would be, is everybody at least happy? And then can we make somebody happier without making anybody worse? In that, if two people, you can see that the difference is, with the first random assignment, some of the complaints were, I got a book, I was randomly assigned, yes, but I got a book and I prefer his book or her book, and she prefers my book. Can we talk and exchange? No, now can we do better? Can we make these two people happier without making anybody worse off? And so the same character here that we're looking at the serial dictatorship is that we have people in the circles and the books in the squares. And we see that for A, the choice of books, if you have three choices, they prefer book A, book 1, over book 2, over book 3. B, person B prefers book 2 to book 1 to book 3. Person C prefers, in that order, book 3, book 2 to book 1. So the idea here is that A is happiest when they get book 1. B is happiest when they get book 2. C is happiest when they get book 3. And so now let's sort of try to analyze this property known as Pareto optimal. In this kind of scenario, this kind of mechanism under serial dictatorship would be Pareto optimal if A got 1, B got 2, and C got 3. Again, remember we are following 3 rules. What is the first one? We're following 3 rules. The first one? Let's have some hands here. Yeah? Let's have some hands. We're following 3 rules. What are they? The first one? Yeah. This has preferences. So this is serial dictatorship. So what is, yeah?
The participants submit their preferences.
You make your preferences. You submit a list of your preferences. Okay, first. Second, randomly ordering. Okay? And then the third. Yeah. We assign you, according to your order of preference, what is remaining. Okay? So, if in this particular, using those three rules, if A gets 1, A is happiest, B gets 2, B is happiest, C gets 3. And so this would become Pareto optimal, because everybody got their most preferred book according to the order. Again, what happens is that since A was the first to be randomly ordered, A got book 1, so it was no longer available within the second giving. But when it came to the second giving, B had preferred 2 over 1. So it's okay, as long as 1 is no longer available. So 2 gets their highest preference. C, again, book 1 and book 2 within the third giving are not available. There's book 3. But remember, C had said that they preferred book 3 better. Let's analyze another scenario where there are different preferences. Let's analyze a scenario where B is assigned 3 and C is assigned 2, and they had submitted their preferences in this kind of manner. Do you think that this is Pareto optimal? Is everybody happy? Again, Pareto optimal is trying to work with 2 outcomes, 2 characters of outcomes. Is everybody happy? And can we make somebody happier? So, who is happy here? Maybe that would be a good question. A is happy, thank you. Is B happy?
No.
Why? Let's have some contribution. Why is B not happy? They're given their list choice, but why? Because she or he comes second, and when they came second, book 1 was gone, but there were 2 and 3 were there, and yet we assigned them 3. Now you see. So is B happy? Is C happy? Is C happy?
No.
Okay, there's a suggestion that C could be happier. Let's have a contribution here.
The other person's preference.
This is random.
Well, I mean,
We followed 3
I
rules.
know. Well, you're asking if A, B, or C is happy. Okay, well, 3 is part of the list. Okay? So
C got 2 here.
yeah, I know. Well, it's part of his preference. Okay? So if I knew that if some way I knew the system, how the system works, and I know his preference,
Yeah.
and I know he got something different, or maybe I should have got what he got based on the rule, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Okay? But if I didn't know, and 3 is part of my list, I'll be fine.
So do you see a problem here? Do you see B and C going off and saying, hey, I like your book better?
Yeah.
Do you see something like that?
Yeah.
So they were not happy really, right? So essentially we're trying to, and you're right, because they know the rules are told to everybody, okay? And so they expect it to be a bit fair.
Yeah.
And so that's the idea here, that we are trying to know if everybody is at least happy, and if we can make somebody happier. And so here we see that there are 2 people that are not happy at least, because they had a choice that was better, and in their round, in the random round of ordering, got their least, their other choice. Does this make sense? And you can liken this in your, we'll be building on this to sort of give you an idea of what it means to make such rules of the game in many things that you do. There's a question right there, yeah?
Yes. So this particular scenario, it's not Pareto optimal.
This is the question I'm asking. Is this Pareto optimal?
No.
Because we're trying to get, at least make somebody happy. And if we can, once we're done with that, then we can make somebody happier. So the question is this Pareto optimal? No. I have another scenario here. They have three rules. Submit your preference. We randomly order you, and then you get what is available when your turn comes. Okay? Depending on your preference. With this, is this Pareto optimal? Is everybody happy? We have assigned, this is the list that of their preference. These are the people in the nodes A, B, and C, and those are the books. A gets 1, B gets 3, C gets 2. This is their order. Is this Pareto optimal? Yeah.
But two was it occupied by that?
Yeah, please go ahead and discuss. You know, it's just 1 minute in dive. Yes, there's a suggestion there. Is this Pareto optimal? Is everybody at least happy? I can't have you because you're my co-facilitator. So yeah.
At least 2 people are happy.
Okay. Why?
The second preference, they would have but they are saying that.
Okay. Let's have another discussion. He's saying it's not.
I think it is.
You think it is? Do you want to give us a quick reason why?
Because when people was assigned from their order, they one box, number one got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Number 8 got what he wanted.
Yeah.
He got what he wanted, what was available, the best that was available.
Yeah. These are exchange. Remember, we are trying to make everybody at least happy, at least. And then we want to know, can we do better? Can we make somebody happier? Without affecting everybody's happiness. Very lovely discussion, yeah? Yeah. Scratch your brains a bit. This is the whole idea of giving out resources. Is this Pareto optimal? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I think it's also because A, we have the same difference. For me, I think it's fair for me. For C, is first preference, best given for C. So if they are happy for, and for B, that's the same preference with A. So I think it's fair to give it.
Okay, maybe let's reel in because we still have a bit of length of. Okay, so what happened is that first of all, fulfilling the first rule. Okay, you give within their order because remember we randomly order them. So within their order, definitely the sort of like the first book that B would get, okay, would be 2.
Yeah.
But in the third round, we ask, can we make somebody happier? Okay, 2 doesn't mind, prefers, so B prefers 2 over 3, but C, that's the first choice. So here, in other words, B and C prefer this over this. So the question would be, can we make somebody happier? In other words, can we make C happier without affecting B? And so something like this is a yes. Okay, they wouldn't mind because the other person had a higher preference if we're going through a second round. Okay, so this is the question that we're asking again, is a mechanism like serial dictatorship. Again, serial dictatorship is that you are dictating over your preference. You're dictating what you get when your order comes. 3 rules that we are following: you submit your list of preferences, we randomly order you, And then in the third step, we assign you what is available according to your preference list when your turn comes. And so this is the problem that we're trying to deal with here is, can you match people to their most preferred available book? An outcome is Pareto optimal if it's fulfilling the two things, at least so everybody's happy, and can we make somebody happier? And so the question is, can we find a better outcome where everybody is just as happy as the same here? So here is all the possible combinations that we can give, especially within this list of three people being A, B, and C, over the list of 3 books, 1, 2, and 3. And so quickly, do go through some discussions and tell me. I'll be going through each. So we already know that these two, this is the first one, so we'll analyze some of the others. We'll start at the right-hand corner, upper corner. If A gets 3, B gets 1 and 2, from the 3 rules and from the way you would that be Pareto optimal? Would they be happy? At least happy? Just a quick analysis to see if these are the fundamental concepts of, yeah? So definitely, A, we see that A wouldn't be happy at all there. Because the list of preference, again, if you go back, A was always 1. We're following this list of preferences. Okay? At any one point, if C got 1, would they be happy? Because in all the